So the body mass index, or BMI, is a widely used method to measure obesity and the risk of chronic disease and mortality. It's a metric that we all are very familiar with and have taken for granted due to its ubiquitous presence in the public health sphere. However, a little known fact about BMI is that it did not originate from concerns about public health, but rather it was prompted by early 20th century studies conducted by a life insurance company in the United States, whose goal was to predict which of their clients were more likely to die, based on simple and easy to measure metrics such as height and weight. Fast forward to the 21st century, research claims that high BMI is not only a worldwide epidemic, but is of increasing concern in developing countries. However, third world countries like my own Bangladesh face unique challenges such as significant environmental pollution, which may be responsible for up to 32% of deaths annually. Keeping this in mind, I posit to you the following controversial question. Is a measure developed for affluent population in the first world truly applicable to quantifying the risk of mortality in developing nations? In other words, do the images on my slide show a form of alignment, or do they show a stark disconnect between two disjointed narratives? My work questions the foundations of BMI by asking if mortality rates in the comfortable first world is truly applicable to capturing the harsh realities in the third world. When we say that obesity is a global pandemic, what do we really mean? Is obesity really driving the death rates in my home country of Bangladesh, or are there other factors such as poor living conditions, poor sanitation conditions, significant environmental pollution more to blame? I'm putting my Texas Tech University training in computer engineering and mathematics to extensive use in order to find the answer to that question. How am I doing my work? My research looks at mortality data and asks what anthropogenic factors best predict it. Once I know this, I'll combine these predictors and then correlate those factors with mortality risk. What makes it difficult? The sheer size of the datasets that I'm working with. When we're looking at mortality data and lifestyle health survey data, you're working in high dimensional spaces where a person, like you or me, might have 1,000 different factors that describe their life. With that much data on each and every person, it can be indeed very challenging to figure out what is really driving mortality rate. What am I doing about it? I'm approaching big data mathematically. By leveraging mathematical techniques such as dimensionality reduction, I have turned big data into small data by finding the players that really matter. You can see an example of this here on my slide, where I have turned a high dimensional data set into a low dimensional one, which has made it so much easier for us to visualize the underlying key patterns. Now you might ask, what makes my work unique? Well, the answer to that question is very simple. We use BMI to paint a broad brush picture of health, which has proven to be easy and effective in the first world, but the third world faces very unique challenges. And the unique challenges, as we know, require unique perspectives, and that's what my research question is taking up. What comes next? You asked the right grader. What comes next is I use my transformative undergraduate research experience to make a transformative difference in the third world. The pictures on the slide tell two contrasting stories, and by putting my research on the line, I aim to bridge the gap between these two narratives. I am Texas Tech, and from here, it's possible. Thank you.